How are we there, guys? And welcome to another episode of the Smashing Crossbar Podcast. Currently running solo at the moment. No idea where Benny's at, what's been going on his end, but he's been sidetracked. I'm sure he will get here eventually. Can everybody hear me? Is the first thing we need to get out of the way. Can everybody hear me? We should be coming through nice and clear. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. Hope everyone has enjoyed the World Cup so far. It's been a cracking start. Plenty of ups and downs, and the opening ceremony wasn't too bad. Sat back and watched that the other night, which was quite good. Bringing back the old, all pretty much the old mascots from the World Cups previous, which was nice. Nice little gesture on Qatar's behalf. Other than that, we're going to talk pretty much everything football. World Cup, Cristiano Ronaldo, Manchester United now in talks of selling the club. Fresh as only an hour ago, I believe, the Melbourne City. Paddy Casnorbo looks like he's on his way to France with Manchester City's sister club there in Liga 1, which is a massive move for him, but we'll talk about that. So yeah, just let us know if anyone can hear me still. If anyone's here. Am I talking to myself? That's the other question. And yeah, as long as I know there's people here and they're willing to chat, we'll and talk some football. I'll get underway and we'll dissect sort of what was. How are you, mate? Sounds all good. Happy days. Yeah, so obviously a couple of things first. We may as well get that out of the way. What have we got here? What have we got? Thanks for the sponsor. Obviously, a big shout out. We'll come over here and do this one first. Big shout out to our major sponsor, Gabriel Mar Optometrist at Jasmine. Be sure to go down and see those guys for all your eye care plus needs. Yeah, down there at Jasmine, pop in, see them, mention Crossbar Capers, and they will look after you. No dramas at all. Yeah, so big shout out to those guys. They do a massive job down there. So, anyway, we're going to talk some football, as we said. Talk some World Cup. Talk Cristiano Ronaldo and the outcome. The outcome that is an outcome of the interview, the spicy interview that's now cost him his contract at Manchester United. For the better, for the worse, yeah. I suppose it will determine on who you are and whether you're a Cristiano Ronaldo fan, a Manchester United fan, or neither of both, where you don't really give a shit, I guess. But yeah, let's talk. Before we get into that and the World Cup, let's talk Melbourne City. Melbourne City. Paddy Casnorbo, been at the club there for a couple of seasons. He's won some trophies, done all the right things, put in the hard yards, he went through the right way. As a coach, he done it the right way, which is really good. I think he wanted out, and that was the only way to do it. It's a possibility. It is a high possibility. Pretty hard to get out of a contract these days if you're sort of stuck. So, yeah, what better way than to tell everybody that you're not a fan of the coach and la-di-da, and that'll do it. But yeah, so let's yeah, as I said, we're talking Paddy Casnorbo. Got his move to massive move. He's the first coach to be coaching in the top five leagues in Europe. So massive move. The French, as much as I like to think of it as a farmers' league, it's definitely, it's definitely not a shit league. It's not like joining the J League or the Scottish Premier League, like the fellow Aussies have in Muscat and Ange in both of those. But at the same time, it's going to be a tough gig. Is he that good of a coach? That's the biggest question. We've seen Muscat go to... Where did he go? I believe it was... where was it? Can't remember now. It was Austria or Sweden or something. Can't remember off the top of my head. But he went and he struggled. He struggled big time. He struggled massively over there, and it all fell through and fell apart. So off he went back home. Will he crack it? Again, he's going to have the resources. He's going to have the facilities. He'll have the money, which he doesn't have at Melbourne City. The quality is another big thing. He's going to have massive amounts of quality, which is he's not going to be used to. So everything is there for him to succeed. He can't say that he hasn't got the tools to succeed. It's just going to be this is obviously going to test him to see how actually good of a coach he is. You know what I mean? It's all good being the coach of Melbourne City, having the best Aussie attackers in the league and in Australia almost, nationally and in the competition themselves. So yeah, big times ahead. Big times ahead for Paddy K, which is good. You wish him all the luck. As an Aussie, you wish him all the luck, and hopefully he succeeds and doesn't fail and come back to the A-League sort of, what could have happened. I think the biggest question now is on everyone's lips is who's going to take the City job. It's a massive gig. You know what I mean? It's not like you can just sort of throw an assistant coach in there. It's not like you can just throw a non-seasoned coach into the gig. It's a possibility that they might send some. If at the end of the day, it's Melbourne City's sister clubs. They've moved one coach from another one coach, Phil Stubbins. My God, you're Jesus. You're kidding yourself. How are you, mate? Who's going to go in there? Could they be looking at bringing one of their coaches over from another club of their sister clubs into there? It's a possibility. It's a massive possibility. I'm waiting to see all the Pappas out chance. Pappas to City. It could happen. Mid-season, we've seen it before. Doing all right for us, and then obviously out he goes and into City. It'll be an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting one to see what happens there. They've got a little bit of time, obviously, to sort it out. I guess their assistant coach will take charge of this weekend's fixture up in Tamworth against the Jets, which is a good test, I suppose, for the assistant coach to see what he's dealing with and everything else. But yeah, good on him. Big ups. Hopefully he does well. And again, he's got everything at his disposal over there. So it's literally on his shoulders just to see how good of a coach he'll be and if he sinks or swims, essentially. Off that one, Jets girls got done 2-1 to Brisbane in Brisbane, opening round of the season for the A-League's women's. Absolute terrible name. I can't get over it. But anyway, we move on. Look, we showed signs, which was good. We definitely didn't really look out of the game at any stage. We just never really took control. But first game up to Tamworth this weekend. Bloody hell, coughing fit. Up to Tamworth this weekend, and we'll see what happens. Is anyone going up there? Is anyone taking the trek up there? Is anyone taking the Sid Fogg option? The bus up to Tamworth? I couldn't think of anything worse, unless I'm allowed to bring a carton of beer on that bus ride. Could not think of anything worse. But yeah, after the massive hype, I know the idea is to get as many Jets fans up there as you possibly can, but after talking about getting him on there, I'll be in Sydney. Yeah, of course you will. Getting fans up there and then watching the games, and after the game, going to one of the clubs or whatever it is to watch Australia versus Tunisia, and then pretty much to get this bus opportunity up there. Yeah, come up by bus. The game finishes, and then 20 minutes after the game, the bus ride back back from Tamworth. So essentially, you're going to be watching the Australia game on a bus back from Tamworth. So that could be an interesting one if someone buys a big enough iPad or a mini TV and hotspots it from their Google Chromecast or something like that. So that'll be an interesting one there. But yeah, another fixture, another warm up for the Jets, which will be good to see. See them firing and still ticking over. You know what I mean? Like as I said, we've heard some of the Central Coast players have gone over to where was it? Bloody. Where was it? I think Luke was saying they went somewhere. Where was that? Like Samoa or something like that. Fantastic. Others have gone back home and so forth. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that one. What else we got? What else have we got going on there? This is why you don't run a podcast on your own. It is so hard just to keep conversation and talk to yourself. So, if anyone's got an idea of where Benny is, I did speak to him about half an hour ago, saying I'll see you in 20 minutes. But anyway, feel free, Benny, if you're hearing me, jump in. I'll just pop you back into the corner there, and we'll get underway. But yeah, so Jets women play again this week, round 2 for them. The Jets men play, obviously, a friendly against Melbourne City with no apparent coach. So that'll be an interesting one there at Tamworth. Be sure to get up there, support the guys and girls if you can. Otherwise, I'm not too sure. The women's game will definitely be live. I'm not sure about the men's. We'll be able to catch that somewhere from Bar TV or something. Time will tell on that one. But we'll dive into the Cristiano Ronaldo sector before we dive into the World Cup action that has been already. So anyone who has been living under a rock, Cristiano Ronaldo had a interview last week where he pretty much stated that the club has not changed in the 15, 20 years or whatever it is since he was last at the club. Other than apparently a pool and a few bits and pieces around the place. But the structure and the camaraderie and all that sort of stuff hasn't changed. So he's pretty much taken a massive swap at United, pretty much stated that he doesn't get on with the coaching staff and the coach. There was sort of a bit of a rift between him and Bruno in camp, in Portuguese camp. They pretty much played it down and denied it, but you could definitely sort of tell that it was sort of that wasn't cool, man. You virtually just kicked us in the guts. Thanks for that. But yeah, apparently they're best mates. Apparently they're fine and everything else. So good on them. But yeah, Manchester United's pretty much ripped up his contract. He's now a free agent essentially. I would imagine he would have offers piling up as we speak to get his signature somewhere. We know there was a massive contract offer came in for him in the January. I think it was the January window last year, well last season, from a Saudi Arabian club, which was like mega dollars. Manchester United apparently agreed to the deal and just left it up to Cristiano Ronaldo to say yes or no. He turned it down, so I dare say that offer will probably pop back up again, which, big dollars, getting on in your latter years, go over, finish your career on a high. Personally, I'd like to see him go back to Portugal to finish his career. I think going back to Sporting Lisbon, even though I'm a massive Benfica fan, I think going back to Sporting Lisbon where it all began is a good move for him. They could use him at the moment. His skill, his leadership, his experience in that side at the moment. They're sort of struggling a bit in the league and not really living up to the hypes that they should be. So him going back to Portugal, playing in Portugal is, I think, the best move he could make, personally. But it's a big question. You know what I mean? Essentially, I can't see him getting picked up by your Real Madrids and your massive Champions League type sides. He's not part of anyone's plans. He's a novelty. You know what I mean? Even Messi these days now is a novelty. He has to be. They're past their prime. Apparently, Messi's talking about a contract to the Premier League. Good luck if it does. Sporting will be good, but depends how much the sacking humbles him. Yeah. Honestly, I don't think he really cares about the sacking. I think it's more the fact that, he sees out his career as a winner. He'll be known to everybody around the world as a champion and pretty much, in my opinion, the GOAT. You've got the comparison of him and Messi. But to me, I think he takes the cake just with what he's done. He's moved around. He's played in some of the biggest leagues in the world. Messi went from one of the biggest leagues in the world to a farmers league. That's pretty much the way I see it. So Lionel Messi could have pretty much just sold himself and gone to America, for all I care. You know what I mean? Going from Barcelona to France, I know he had no option. He had to get out. And again, PSG holds all the money. But I think at that age, the amount of money you've earned over your career, you sort of got to go, I'm not going to take the money option this time. I'm going to try something different for me. But anyway, I think we have a Benny. Benny might be floating. Here he is.
I'm here.
Benny's had a bit of a nap.
Apologies.
So yeah, while Benny's setting his camera and all that sort of shit up, we'll ramble on. But we've been talking about the Melbourne City news in the last hour, which I've no idea if you've been up on or not, considering you were meant to be here at 8 o'clock. So I'm sure you've been flat out. So you haven't heard about the City situation?
No, not as yet.
Well, there we go. So,
I'm going to be shocked.
You are going to be shocked. Latest news as early as an hour ago, Melbourne City have parted ways with Paddy Casnorbo.
Yeah, where's he going?
Pretty much parted ways on a situation that it was out of their control, considering he's now gone to Manchester City's sister company in France. He's now taken charge of French Ligue 1 side, was it Troyes?
Oh, Troy, yeah.
I believe that's who it was, I've seen. So he's pretty much signed a deal with them.
Big jump.
Massive jump, which is what we were sort of talking about just before. As in, you know what I mean, like, you talk about some of the coaches that have moved on and, your Kevin Muskets and so forth that tried their luck overseas and didn't make it and didn't crack it. I know Musket went to... I was trying to work it out before. I can't remember, was it Sweden or Austria?
He went to Belgium.
Belgium, that's who it was. Yeah. And it didn't work out for him, so he sort of come back and so forth. So that's going to be the biggest test for him. Is obviously whether he can, it all comes down to his coaching ability, essentially. That's where it's at. Yeah. He's got all the facilities in the world. He's got all the money in the world coming from what he would need to succeed in France, other than your PSG and your probably AC Monaco.
None of those stupid freaking player limits.
Yeah, it's it. He's got no player limits, so he's got access to pretty much buy whoever in his perfect world. You know what I mean? His mind doesn't think $6 or $7 signs. You know what I mean? He likes to think in the medium world of, when you go to a restaurant and you price your expensive limit, you see like $2 to $3 signs instead of like your $5 to $6 where it's really expensive. So he'll be fine in that sort of medium realm of the dollar sign market and going, shit, I can afford to find somebody that's worth about $5 million. Holy shit.
Yeah, exactly.
fantastic for me. So big jump for him. As I said, it's all going to come down to his coaching ability, is how good of a coach he actually is. Can't really say much in the A-League. At the end of the day, it all comes down to how good you can scout, how good you can snag a deal with a good player.
And your support staff and stuff like that.
Exactly right. As we're over there, it's a big difference, big jump, and wish him all the best. Hopefully he does succeed and does some good things, and from there builds another contract somewhere else to a bigger club, and happy days. So what was I going to say? Friggin' whenever you want your camera on, mate, I've got you pretty much.
I'm turning on lights and shit.
Sorted. No, there he goes. He's floating around still. It's all right, mate. Don't stress. There's no one really here. Chatty popped in, and Matty's here, and that's about it. Luke said he was going to be late. But anyway, other than that, we've touched on the Cristiano Ronaldo saga. Obviously, free agent looking for a club. Every man and their dog will be looking to sign him on a contract. The A-League have jokingly put in bids and what have you, and Saudi Arabia, as I was stating before, guys, would no less be looking at another mega bid, which is what they tried to get him on in the January transfer window this year. So the sky's the limit. He could go anywhere, I think, other than your top Champions League winning sides. Like chances, like your big, let's say, Big 10 clubs in the world. More so just for the fact that they're just not willing. They won't be willing to pay what he wants for what they'll get out of him.
Well, I dare say that PSG are based solely on financial fair play.
Well, that's right, and I believe Messi is possibly looking at a move to the Premier League, which would be an interesting one. I think Messi in the Prem would be so much better than watching him play in the Liga 1.
It's the same sort of deal, though, too. You've got to look at how much he wants and the variable realms of who realistically could afford that, whilst not blowing financial fair play either.
Yeah, look, maybe it's time to start paying back, paying the people back, and going off to Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? I think look what Saudi Arabia did to him, and maybe it's time to go back and jump ship and go take some dollars and go. You stitched me up good. Looks like I'll come here and play.
Even somewhere. And I don't want to bring another downer on it, but somewhere like a Qatar.
Yeah, you Saudi Arabia and stuff like that.
Where it's more money than sense.
But it's more money, but it's a decent league. You know what I mean? Like I think Saudi Arabia proved that the other day in the World Cup. Considering that whole squad was based out of the Saudi league, there was not one player in that squad that plays outside of Saudi Arabia, and it just proved how good the quality is there.
100%.
And I think how much they don't get looked at, as in a scout's destination. So
especially also being part of the Asian Confederates, they don't take us seriously.
That's correct. Yeah. So
which is a blessing and a curse.
Very true. Very, very true. But yeah. So sky's the limit. Ronaldo is now a free agent. Essentially, he can sign wherever he wants. Again, we have to take.
He signs to the left. He signs to the right. Our boy Ronaldo, he signs wherever he likes.
It's safe to say that Ronaldo was not impressed with playing Europa League. So
no, he was not.
Took about 5-6 games of that and went, that's enough. I've had enough. This is not for me. I need to play Champions League.
To be fair though, since Ten Hag come in, he's been treated like shit.
Yeah, look, exactly right.
Like he's not my I'll give him my due. He's not my favourite player, and he does things that make me sort of raise my eyebrows. But again, you're a professional. you're a professional footballer, rated as highly regarded as one of the best in the world. You don't fucking come out and say shit like that. And we knew the writing was on the wall when he said something, and then the club, Manchester United, posted a statement out going, well, we've had none of this sort of thing. You knew the writing was on the wall.
Yeah. It was, I think Matty put up a good comment earlier. It was a way out. It was an exit for him. It was an exit strategy. To me, I'm guessing he's probably gone to him and said, I want out. I want to move on. And they're like, no, you've signed your contract. Unless we get a decent bid for you, you can sit on the bench. You can chuck a Gareth Bale. And
you can sit here and rock.
That's it. And he's gone, fuck that. Essentially the whole, do you know who I am? I'm not standing for this, and tees up an interview with one of the most ridiculous friggin' reporters you've ever fucking met mate, seriously.
I was on my point.
He's such a twat. And again, he just went to town and so forth. He's essentially got what he wanted anyway. He's out. He's finished. He's ended on a decent note by pretty much stating, thanks to the fans and still.
It's not doing his career any good.
Oh, look, to be perfectly honest, it's not gonna affect his career. It's not gonna affect his, them in 15 years' time talking about Ronaldo and. Oh, I remember at the end of his career how he friggin' got that G up from the reporter and got out of Manchester. Like, no one's going to remember it. No one will remember
it. It's that he's seen as a commodity, not a person. And it shows how much football has now become a game of numbers and stuff like that.
He's
seen as an object, not as a human being.
Yeah. So, it's it's not going to affect his career by any means. It's pretty much essentially coming to an end. As I said to Matty before, personally, I'd love to see him go back to Portugal, where it all started. I think it's just a way a professional athlete should end their career.
Poor Luis Suarez.
Yeah. There's so many people that have done it. Your Tevez. And blokes like that who have gone back home and where it all began and stuff like that, giving back. Your Lewis Buffon, your Buffons and stuff like that. There's so many.
Your Buffon, your Rajard Nainggolan's,
Iron Robin. The list goes on. There's so many players that have just gone back home and seen out their end because. Why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? It's where it all started. Why not end it there? And again, Sporting Lisbon's not a shit club to be ending your career on. Let's be honest. Not
at all.
They're pretty much the top three in the Portuguese league and fighting for European football pretty much every year. So, personally, it'd be good to see him back.
They're in the thereabouts.
Pardon?
They're in the thereabouts.
Yeah, they're always around, which is good. And personally, I'd like to see him finish there. I think it'd just be great for the Portuguese fans and the faithful and everyone in between. Let me just sort of bring Benny back into here.
Oh, yeah. Very white.
There he is.
Very white.
But yeah, so that's pretty much that. We touched on obviously the Jets this weekend up in Tamworth, double header. Men playing City, obviously now without a coach. Most likely their assistant coach will take charge of that. And
have they named who's running the ship until?
I haven't looked into a great deal. I pretty much seen it literally as I was putting everything up and shit. I seen a Facebook post saying that Melbourne City coach Paddy Cosnorbo has left. No, I didn't even say that. Has left for sister club Troy's or whoever the fuck it was. Can't remember off the top of my head. Sister club of Manchester City. La la la. So again, he's been given the option. one of the biggest ones we were talking about was who's going to come in there. Who's going to now take
Yeah.
over at Melbourne City? That's one
Are
of the big
they
ones.
going to go international, or are they going to take a punt on another Aussie?
Well, we can see how quickly it is to get a coach from here to their other sister club. Why not a sister club back to Melbourne City? You know what I mean? It's one thing I don't understand why they haven't done in the past. They've stuck very much to Australian coaching staff, even assistant-wise. You know, they haven't really brought anyone out from your Manchester Cities or Red Bulls
Yeah, not
or whatever.
since they brought out that other bloke prior to him from... he came from the French League as well.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. His name escapes me. He was a really old bloke.
Yeah, the older bloke went back home.
They took a punt on old mate from United.
Yeah,
I don't know who it was.
I think Chatty put in there that I
For
think...
some reason, freaking Mike Phelan keeps coming to mind, but...
Well, Chatty's put in there that he reckons Phil Stubbins will get a run.
Oh, fuck me.
Um,
Fuck me. But I'm reading an article here that I've just quickly pulled up from Fox Sports, and they come out with a statement saying, we consider ourselves lucky to have been able to hold on to Patrick for so long.
yeah, right.
Right, when you think about it, he's come through the women's team as well, and
Exactly
he had
right.
good success at City with the women,
Yeah, it's true.
which gave them the kick in the ass to maybe have a look in their own backyard.
Mm.
And again, he's gone from strength to strength with the men.
Yep. Good playing career, and now he's successful. Won pretty much every trophy you can in the A-League. Both sides, the women and the men. So he's pretty well single-handedly won City every trophy they've got.
There you go. Current City A-League women's coach Rado Vidicic will take the helm as the interim men's boss.
As well as the women. There you go.
I don't know. Just says here, Rado has had a long history in the A-League men's competition, previously involved as a technical director, assistant coach and caretaker coach of Brisbane Roar.
Mm.
Plus time as an assistant at Sydney FC, Melbourne Victory and Wellington Phoenix.
There you go.
Rado's been around.
He's been everywhere, man.
And I'm pretty sure Dario's up and about doing coaching for them as well, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken. But yes, Troyer is currently sitting 13th in League One, 1 point and goal difference outside the bottom relegation places.
Holy shit.
So he's going into a shitstorm.
Yeah, fantastic. Welcome to the
But
league.
again, they're going to, considering at this point in the season, they won't have him on a tight leash. They won't be too worried if they make the drop. They'll be trying to avoid it, obviously, but
That'll be his goal.
I don't think they're going to be too upset that... I don't think they're going to be too upset if he just scrapes it.
They're 13 games in?
Yeah.
So he's still got half the season to go. So definitely avoiding relegation is his goal.
They'll give him somewhat. Yeah, but they know as well he's coming into a team that's not his.
Yeah.
And they can't just throw shit at the fan and see what sticks in January.
True.
You might be able to get a handful of players in January, but it won't be stupid money.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised if he starts raiding Melbourne.
Yeah. Very true.
Especially people for the one that springs to mind that he might actually take, considering nationality, point of career, can do a job, would be somebody like Florian Berengay.
Hmm. Yeah.
Sort of not up there on the team sheet starting every week, but considering his nationality, his age, his pedigree that he's already had here in the A-League now, and stuff like that, it may be very much a, hey, come home.
If it's a good relationship with him and the coach, well,
come home and give me an option.
Come be my translator.
Yeah, well, I know how you work. You know how I work. You're in the comfort of your own country. You know you've played here before. You know what's expected. To me, that's a very easy one.
Now go get my frog's legs.
Yeah.
Where's the best frog legs? Yeah, so it'd be good to see him get a chance. Again, he's playing in the French league, which I believe is on Optus Sports. Maybe. Pardon me. I'm not sure. Can't remember. But
Don't tend to go watch the Farmers League.
Yeah, I know. Even do I. That's why I sort of
Very rare.
But I believe it's on something decent. If not, it'll be on BN Sports or something like that. So we'll probably be able to get to watch him and see how he goes and shit like that, which would be good. But yeah, so that's pretty much, we've dissected everything else other than the World Cup. And we may as well kick off the last 20 odd minutes of the show with that. The World Cup that was, the opening ceremony was fantastic. I thought it was probably one of the best I've actually watched. As sad as people might sit there and think, really, you watch that shit? For me, I watch things like that for history. To me, an opening ceremony is all about previous World Cups. It's about showing obviously the world what you guys are going to deliver. And again, they've had so much controversy. They've been in the wars with everybody. It's been
a shitstorm for 10 years.
Exactly right, and it's just getting worse. And on the eve of the World Cup, there's alcohol bans. Just trying to find a place to get a drink is ridiculous. I was talking to Laurie, and nearly $12 for a shandy. Nearly fell off his friggin' chair.
It's a rich country, and they expect everyone that's there to. What was it? Those container friggin'
the fan zone.
Those container fucking
accommodation
mobs
the fan
that
zone.
They've got people staying in.
Yeah.
Who was talking to me about it? It was something like £175 a night.
Oh yeah, it's expensive.
It's like It's like $350 Aussie like a night.
That's what I got told. It was about $325. I think someone was saying to me that they were paying
for a fucking container in the middle of the fucking desert.
Oh look, they said it's one of the nicest containers they've ever been in. Don't get me wrong.
I've been in some pretty nice containers. They don't have any beds in them, but.
But again, it's expensive. Life over there is expensive. For eating out, and that is expensive. Drinking is expensive.
They spent what, 200 and rough numbers are something like $225 billion.
Oh yeah,
getting it going.
Massive.
Like that's a lot. They're gonna get as much as they are rich. You don't get rich by doing silly things. So
they're making.
They're going to pay off their investment.
They're making a shitload of money. Some of the stadiums they've got there are friggin' pretty much made out of containers.
Yeah, but at the same point as well, it hits a little bit harder for us Aussies, because we sit there and think and wait for the mistake going, that could have been us. Considering it was down to us and them.
Yep.
We sort of sit there and just like with the arms crossed going, waiting for him to fall over, going, so we can turn around and go, well, we'd have done it better. I was
talking to a guy, one bloke I know is over there, and I was talking to him, and I was like, how's it going? How's things? La la la. And he goes, he's been to a lot of World Cups. It's like his go-to. Every 4 years, the World Cup finishes, he takes out a loan.
You start saving for the next one.
Yeah, he takes out essentially a little bit of a loan, give or take. So he saves his ass off, and then he just pretty much gets a loan to pay for his accommodation or something like that. So he doesn't use it for his whole expense of a holiday, but he, pays. He uses the loan to pay essentially. Something. Whether it be fucking just he takes $10,000 out or whatever just to cover all his bills while he's over there. But he was saying to me, he goes, he's never been in a country where he's had a loan taken out, and every 2 beers is a weekly friggin' repayment for the loan.
Not bad considering you can barely find a place in the country to get a fucking beer.
Yeah, he goes, there's plenty of places to find a beer. You just got to get away.
And even then, it's sponsored by Budweiser, so you're fucking shit out of luck there.
Yeah, it's a terrible drop too.
It's a fucking horrid beer.
Terrible drop.
I'm not a beer person, but I've had a few, and I can tell you Budweiser is not one of the better ones I've had.
what did he say? He said to me the other day they went and
Sorry,
watched,
Timmy.
yesterday I was talking to him. He said they went and watched Wales and the US.
The game.
And he was saying to me, he goes, he's never been out on a football day where he's had 3 beers all day, purely because he refuses to buy beer. he goes, I had one in the morning, like about 11 o'clock when they sort of ventured out. He said he had one at about 3 o'clock after the game or something like that, and then he had one with dinner. That was it. Yes. He goes, they tried to charge me $5 for water.
Yeah. Well, he's in the middle of the fucking desert.
Oh, I know.
It's a luxury.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Riley McGree lost the game last night. Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't go that far.
Well, you can blame my tardiness for tonight's podcast on the Socceroos, because I was that idiot that got up at stupid o'clock this morning to watch it.
Oh, but in saying that, I think nearly every Australian did. I think it was very much everyone.
I tell you right now, my old girl would have. She does every World Cup without fail. I'll give her due.
Fed Square was packed, and to be honest, majority of those people in the Fed Square this morning was, I reckon, under the age of 22. They were very young, very youthful.
It's a new generation of fan to go along with a new generation of player.
Yeah.
As far as the Aussies are concerned.
So
England very much the same at the moment as well.
So
very young squad.
So obviously to start things off, we're talking about what was so fucking sidetracked. Watched the opening ceremony as I was saying. It was brilliant, really good, very much so for the fact, just purely on the fact that they brought back all the mascots from every previous World Cup. It's fantastic. Yeah. So good just watching all the previous mascots. You see the rooster from the France 98.
France 98, yeah.
You see the friggin' what was it? That bloody South African what the fuck was it? It was some bloody bird-looking doobie. And
bird-looking doobie with a fucking vuvuzela in its pocket.
Yeah, something like and just
the vuvuzela was the unofficial mascot of 2010.
Yeah, it was like the dog. there was a dog in there, like we're going back to dog. Like it was like 1984 or 6 or something like that. It's just random shit. It was fantastic. It was good. It was fantastic for that. And then you bring into the opening game, Qatar very good. Qatar being the first host country to taste defeat in the opening match of a World Cup in 90
as a host.
And in the existence of the World Cup, no host country had lost their opening match in a World Cup. So congratulations to them.
Congratulations for being shit.
Breaking a record. Happy days. What was I going to say? There's been some great games. There's been some games where you just sort of sit back and you go, meh. I think England was one of those games.
There's been a couple of... See, I wouldn't go meh for England, because that, again, there's another game I actually sat up and watched. It was one of those... Well, this is not what we expected.
Oh.
I spoke to my old man briefly. As you know, he's in the UK at the moment. I spoke to him briefly the day before the England game, and I'm like, what do you reckon? And he's like, we'll get beat 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, we'll get beat 2-1. And I'm like, all right. And I'm like, all right. I said, 2-2? and then just opened the fucking floodgates. And to be fair, they could have bagged more.
But the thing is, though, that's what I expected. You know what I mean? I'm more disappointed if I'm an England fan. The fact that they conceded two sloppy goals.
Yeah.
But not any goal. They were sloppy goals that they should never have really conceded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a game that they should never have lost. Which is what they did.
Maguire didn't lose his head.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
he's actually pretty solid.
The biggest thing is they can only play like that for so long, because unfortunately the games are going to get harder. You know, so that's the killer.
Yeah.
Wales and
but again, they fucking controlled that game from start to finish.
The biggest
Like
question
they were in full control.
the biggest question is going to be is how they go against your Wales and your USA. Like, as I said last week,
Both banana skins.
it's going to be tight. That game, the game against Wales, absolute shambles, man. They freaking. There's no way that should have been a draw.
They relied too heavily on Bale.
But the problem was it was USA's fault because they didn't bury the game like they should have. They should have buried that game. Should have been dead and buried.
They should have killed it off.
The 65th minute. 65th minute. No. They should have had two more than what they should have. What they did, and Wales didn't even look close to getting into that game. They had great possession. Don't get me wrong. They knocked the ball really well, but it was only good to watch when it was in the friggin' middle of the pitch. As soon as they started to press
and that's
into
the
the
thing.
18,
it's all well and good that you've got all the possession, but if you can't do anything with it, but I think that's what I was saying to you last week. I don't think they'll struggle against Wales, but the US they will.
Yeah.
The US will catch them off guard.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, I've got to say it as well. Big Jude scoring his first goal in an England shirt. Opening up the floodgates. To be fair, tidy header.
It was good to see from a non-England fan, right? It was good to see everyone up front do what they're meant to do. Everyone up front do what everybody in England expects them to do.
Expects England to do.
Right?
I wouldn't say just up front. I'd say across the entire park.
Oh but heavily England's front four, essentially. Even into the midfield.
Sterling's always going to have a belter in an England shirt. He always has.
Because the biggest problem in previous years and even leading into the World Cup was they just weren't scoring enough goals. It's an issue.
They're toothless.
It's an issue they've had for years, is they just don't score anywhere near as many goals as what they should have. And it's something that England do.
I've said it for donkey's years against England, even going back looking at...
And that's what I was about to say.
2010
earlier.
The big one for me was 2006 in Germany. Oh. It's the same thing. You can have some of the greatest players in the world, throw them all on a pitch together, and it's 11 useless idiots.
How England...
Run around with their heads chopping off.
How England did not win the 98 World Cup amazes me. The squad they had...
But I'll admit this as well. Yes, I am an England supporter. I watch England just as closely as what I do... Australia, in the same way that you watch Portugal just as close as what you watch Australia. When I support England, it's very much like supporting the Jets. You know the disappointment is coming. It's a matter of not if, but when. You always walk away disappointed.
And that's the biggest problem is going to be is how they're going to cope against big clubs. No, big countries. They should get out of that group, and then from there it's a shit show.
They'll get out of the group.
But England done well. They done exactly what they should have done, other than conceding 2 goals, which they shouldn't have. It should have been a whitewash. But at the end of the day, they got what they deserved in the goal scoring department. Anyway, I don't think they really. There's probably a couple of other missed opportunities, but they definitely got the right ones. The ones that they should have got went in the back of the net. It wasn't one of those ones where you missed the sitter, but got the goal that he should never have even scored from. They hit everything.
There was nothing outlandish.
No, everything that should have gone in the net did. Every goal that was on target pretty much went in the goals, which is a good day out.
And then you've got Maguire, who's just unlucky.
He's a twat.
It hit the crossbar and he's sitting there with his head in his hands, and I'm like, yeah, mate, you deserve that to be 2 inches slower.
But
it's a shame.
So England done all right there. Luckily, what would have been lucky for us was the fact that Denmark and Tunisia had a draw. Now, if we kept France scoreless, which, let's be honest, was never going to happen. But if we'd walked away with a win out of that game, we pretty much secured our spot into the next round.
Yeah.
on Tunisia and Denmark's draw, because at the end of the day, one more point secured us the victory.
Yeah.
Pretty well.
But again, we're Australia, Josh. We like to do things the hard way.
Absolutely.
We've always liked to do things the hard way.
Yeah. Big shout out to Craig Goodwin. Honestly, it was a freaking great goal. He was in again. Let's not get too excited. It's a goal that should never have been missed.
Oh, 100%.
It's a goal that every striker at that level is hitting every day of the week. He had all the time in the world. He literally just had to stick his foot out and direct it back back to the opposite way of the goalkeeper, which he done perfectly. Great ball into the box, fantastic, and it goes in. Australia goes nuts. They go mental. We're 1-0 up against France, which again, let's be honest, I would say 90% of every Aussie out there is going, let's take this while we can, because it's not going to last long.
It was one of those as an Australian, you sit there and sort of go, that just shows that we deserve to be here.
Yeah. Well, not even that. I wouldn't go that far. Because friggin', again, we couldn't even top our group. We got beat by Saudi Arabia. And they beat the likes of Argentina. And so they proved that they deserved to be there. Not only did they beat the Asian champions in Australia for qualifying, but they beat Argentina, who, let's be honest, are pretty much were, possibly still are, in the top two.
The favourites.
Predicted favourites. So,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not the fact that we proved that we deserve there. It's the fact that we scored a goal that no one in that World Cup expected us to score. That's for me the biggest one. You know what I mean? And
against France.
I said that. You know what I mean? What do you reckon the score's going to be? I got the score 4-1, but I predicted we would get a penalty. I thought the only way we're scoring that goal is France will stuff up because their backline is very young.
Yeah, it's gonna come from a mistake,
and they will make a mistake and chop one of us, and Duke or whatever will bury the penalty. I'm great that they.
But at the same point as well, and I had this discussion with you prior to the podcast tonight on the phone. Saudi Arabia, us, the other confederations think that we're the shit on everybody else's shoe. They don't take us fucking seriously. They don't take the Asian Confederation team seriously. And through Saudi Arabia and us coming up early against France, hopefully it's put a lot of, especially the UEFA teams, on notice of, oh shit, maybe we shouldn't open our mouths as wide and ridicule the Asian nations because, they're here and they would have watched what happened with Saudi Arabia and Argentina and went, oh, fuck. And France would have came into that game against us a bit ginger going, oh, fuck, here we go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not the laughing stock.
Yeah.
We're not the laughing stock.
Well, at the end of the day, we've proved enough. We should have proved our doubters wrong in regards to us being there, because we haven't missed one now since 2006. So, it's enough to say that.
When you look at the teams we've knocked off to get there in previous years, they've been higher. They've been higher ranked South American sides.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your Peru's, your Honduras, we've done it the hard way.
Absolutely.
We haven't done the auto qualify since 2006.
Yeah. As I said, there's nothing better. Nothing greater than, us going to Uruguay, getting beat in Uruguay. But that every kid, every player in that Australian squad right now knows that game. They remember that game, and it's a memory.
Oh, Aloisi's penalty,
not even the pen. No, but in Uruguay, not the win, not
in
when
Uruguay,
we qualified.
the one beforehand.
When we got beat,
Yeah.
it is the one.
They
game,
treated us like fucking second-class citizens.
It is the one game that every current Australian player, and I have no doubt about it, sits back as a kid, literally as a kid, and remembers that game going, it was the greatest escape. Not the scoreline.
Yep.
The fact that we went in there and they didn't kill us. They didn't bury us. They didn't. We came back to Australia with hope, which was the biggest mistake and the one thing that Uruguay will, if their fans, their players, will testify to. They will sit there and go, the biggest problem and the reason we did not qualify was because we didn't bury them.
They severely underestimated us.
The whistle blew, and you still had a breath, and that was the problem. So that's the mentality since that day, and since that 2006 World Cup, that players like your Craig Goodwins and your current generation who are now in the Socceroos shirt are looking back at going, and Graham Arnold was there. He's, I guarantee you, drilling that home. You know what I mean? We're not here because, we got lucky. We're here because we should be.
Yeah.
We're here because we've done the hard yards.
Yeah, we've done the hard yards, but at the same point as well, don't take it for granted.
Exactly right. What have we got here? So to answer your question, Riley McGree, Jen, welcome, mate. Riley McGree lost the game last night. I don't think so. I don't think anyone really lost the game. Atkinson looked lost. He looked, for me, the most shocked out of that whole squad.
Yeah.
Just the fact of where he was. You know what I mean? He's the player. There's always one in every country when they come into a World Cup that just sort of looks out of place and just sort of goes, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I'm in this stadium at this tournament playing against these players. Your Mbappe's, your top Griezmann's and stuff like that. I can't believe it. You know what I mean? And because of it, because they're thinking about it so much, it affects their game. And it affected his game, unfortunately. He for me, struggled. He looked the most out of place. That's not to say that he missed every tackle and whatever. He could definitely tell. You could watch him. If you had a camera on him the whole game, he just looked nervous. So nervous. So, holy fuck, I can't believe I'm here. And again, he's now got that out of his system, and it could completely change.
He had the stars in his eyes.
You know what I mean? Round game 2. Kuol shouldn't have played him. For me,
Kuol
shouldn't have played him. He had a shit show. He was terrible. If Newcastle were watching him then, before they'd signed him, and that was what they were going to look at signing him on, no way he would have got that contract. No way. He was miles behind the ball. The ball got played and he was fucking standing still.
Yeah.
He just wasn't there. You know what I mean? And all that, and that was purely down to the fact he's not getting minutes. He's not playing 90 minutes at the Central Coast. And then you're putting him up against your Dembélés and shit. Fuck me. These kids, they're going to annihilate you. They're 5 to 10 steps ahead of you.
Yeah. He's probably sitting there. Now, it may be very much a case of, well, look what I've done. Look at how good I am. Look at where I'm going. And then he just got slapped about by a bang average teenager in Europe. And he's sitting there maybe thinking, well, maybe I'm not as good as what I'm cracked up to be. If this is what I'm going to experience when I go to England, I may have to pull my fucking socks up.
Yeah. He's going to have to get stronger. He's going to have to get fitter. And he's
going to leave the A-League something special. And he's going to go into Europe, bang average. He's going to be ready for that.
Yeah, so, yeah, for me, he looked well and truly average. I don't know. He just, yeah. Again, I'm not going to sweat on it too much. It was France. You know,
Yeah.
like I'm sitting there looking at their, they're bringing on a sub, and it's like they're taking off friggin' one superstar, and then the next one comes on. It's like, really? Like,
Is it necessary?
Craig Goodwin scores that goal, right? And
Yeah.
the hype goes up, right? Australia's nuts. They're freaking, oh my God, we've just, freaking scored. Happy days. They look over to the right. Freaking the defender's on his fucking ass. He's freaking done his knee. He looks like he's going to be done for the tournament. Looks fucking pretty bad.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. We'll just bring on the freaking AC Milan captain, his younger brother. Oh, yeah, righto. Like for like replacement, brothers, and let alone the AC Milan freaking captain. Yeah. I was just like, righto.
And then you look at who didn't play for France.
Yeah, well, didn't even get a look in because of injuries and shit. Not even there. Not even there because of injuries.
You swap somebody like Rabiot, who's been a bit hit and miss since PSG to Juve, and then was fucking up and down, in and out. You swap him for somebody like fucking Matteo Guendouzi. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I hate Guendouzi,
yeah,
he's to me, I don't know what it is with Guendouzi. He just reminds me a lot about fucking Matt Simon. He's just a grub. I can't stand him.
Could you imagine friggin' bringing Giroud on, Giroud on, not off, on for Benzema?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where do you fit friggin' shit? What's his name?
Look at their front three.
Ben
Mbappe, you're gonna go on Mbappe, Benzema, Griezmann. I mean, Jesus Christ. And then bring Giroud off the bench.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, that's it. Like, Giroud started.
Jesus.
Like, Giroud scoring 2 goals equaling friggin' Thierry Henry.
Yeah.
International record. Giroud. Like, he's like, to me, one of the duds in French football. Like, you know what I mean? He's just the one player that you just don't expect to be up there. And here he is friggin' equaling Thierry Henry, essentially the French god of football, equaling his record of 50 goals.
Yeah.
And, there's still games to play.
That's right, yeah.
It's probably going to be his last World Cup, but he's essentially going to beat Thierry Henry's freaking record, and he's... Fuck. I don't mean to be rude, but he's half the player Thierry Henry was. Half the play, if that's probably giving him a bit more credit than he deserves.
That's giving him more credit than he deserves. Sorry.
like, you know what I mean? And then you got your Benzema who wasn't there. You've got your Ben Arfa didn't even make it, and he's killing it at the moment.
Oh, Hatem Ben Arfa.
Ben Arfa, he's killing it at the moment. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I agree. I 100% agree with you, Matty. Again, looking at the lineups once more. Fuck is McLaren?
Yeah. Yeah, that was the one. That was different.
Are they? And what leads me to believe this is that it seems like Arnold had already written off his game and didn't want to risk it. And he wants the second game and the third game, which are a bit more manageable for us, to come out and hit him with a fucking sucker punch and catch him off guard as the underdog.
Insane
and
that.
Fucking get a cheeky 1-0 and get a couple of points on the board. Not exactly a bad way. We know we're outmatched and outclassed by France, but you've still got to balance it in a way that we're competitive to a point where the goal difference doesn't just like completely fucking go out the window.
But the one thing he has done, though, is freaking given himself a mighty big headache tomorrow.
Okay.
Because I'm telling you now, there was some iffy moments, but there was some freaking great moments. Moy,
Yeah.
it was the best game I've seen Moy play in ages. He was fantastic to watch. He was all over the place. He was everywhere that he was needed to be. Bloody, friggin' what's his name? Bloody
We lined up very
Lecky.
differently to what we have recently as well. I
Lecky
can't
was
remember the
on
last
fire.
time Australia played a 4-1-4-1.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that was different.
I mean, not exactly a bad formation considering that current crop of Socceroos that we've had over the past 6 to 8 years. We've gone from creating the odd great goalkeeper or the odd great striker. We're a very midfield heavy national team.
No.
Like the midfield is where we create our strongest players of recent years.
Yep. No, it was.
That's where you're going to headache. So you sort of got to work out how can we sort of work with that. At the same point as well, we don't tend to create that great striker anymore. And even still, you need to have more up in, say, an attacking midfield supported by wing, because a striker of an Australian quality, you can't, at a World Cup, put them up top by themselves.
Yeah.
They'll just get hammered from pillar to post.
There was some good moments. The biggest thing is to take out of it. There was some good moments. There was some moments out of that you can take out, like players can take out of that, and fans should take out of that. Going,
there's individual performances
wow.
that we can take out of that and just go, right, that's it.
Lecky was on fire. I haven't seen him.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him play that well since the freaking Asian final, the Asian Champions, the freaking whatever the fuck it's called, the Asian Cup final.
Yeah.
In 2016. 16, yeah. He was phenomenal. He was freaking the balls, the movement, the freaking play. It was just, he was on fire, and he was up and down that line. Again, you're looking at friggin' Mbappe and friggin' Dembele, two of the quickest blokes in fucking world football. And then you friggin' add their skill level and shit like that. You could drop a ball on a dime. And he was matching. You know what I mean? Like he got ripped a few times by friggin' Mbappe and shit, but he you know, that's just a class above. But he looked good. Bloody Suter. Tell me that bloke's played 4 games in 12 months. Fuck.
Nah.
He was on fire. He was so good in defence. Everything that came in fucking pretty much went out. He was everywhere.
I fucking love Suter.
He controlled that back line so well. And again, they pretty much got beat, other than the header from Mbappe. Pretty much got, they didn't get beat from anything really ridiculously stupid. So, you take it. It's a loss, of course. Our expectation is to make the final 16. You want to get out of the group. That's it. If anything happens beyond that, fucking great. The goal is to finish second. And at the end of the day, we've got the best possible chance that we've played France, that we're out of the way. We pretty well have gone out of there injury-free. So, that we expect. There wasn't really much injury there. So, you're going to expect fireworks. How do you take Craig Goodwin out of that squad? I can't recall the last time Craig Goodwin started a game. I seen him on the starting lineup and nearly freaking lost me load. I was like, oh fuck yes.
Like I
How
said
good
to
is
you,
it?
for a bloke to come in and do that, considering that 6 weeks ago it was, will he be on the plane? Won't he be on the plane? Will he be on the plane? Won't he be on the plane?
Yeah.
And to come out and do that, you sit there and go, yeah, he deserves to be on the plane. I'm of the opinion that I think he deserved to be on the plane regardless.
Yeah, I think I was talking to one of the guys today, and he's like, what's 2 things that you can take out of that match? And for me, it was the midfield isn't as weak as I thought it was going to be. Again, Australia's midfield is very shaky. It always has been. It has been since 2006. Since we qualified.
They're all very different.
It's very up and down.
They're all very different.
And it literally...
we can't... The Australian midfield, you can't substitute like for like.
Yeah, but it's not even a substitute issue. It's the fact that you can't... it's not a France or something like that where you can play 3 in the midfield and they're going to play this way and they're going to do this and they're going to do that for 36 games straight and be unbeaten in 36 games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Australia doesn't do that. They change, and Arnold just has this tendency, and he's not the only one. Nearly every coach that's come into the Australian squad.
He's a tinkerer.
Tinkers. They always do. Every coach that has come into there since 2006 is a tinkerer. And they don't tinker in the back line. They don't tinker up front. They tinker in the middle. And it shits me to no end. But
again, what I'm saying in regards to it, it's not a like for like. It may be a like for like for position, but the play style and how that player plays, even though they're coming in for a like for like change, are just so different.
Yeah. So for me, it was the midfield and how surprised I was with it, and it worked. You know what I mean? We got beat 4-1, but it worked. It was good. It was solid. Everyone moved as one, and everyone moved back as one. Everyone moved to the right. Everyone moved to the left. It was just...
You could tell it was a formation and a setup that they've been working on behind closed doors for a while now and haven't debuted in any games because they didn't want anybody to know coming into the World Cup.
Could have played Mozart music and freaking it just would have been a fucking nice...
Because Australia traditionally plays a 4-3-3. We can't play a 4-3-3 in the World Cup.
Yeah, it was just like
we'd
a waltz.
Get fucking slapped.
It was just a perfect waltz. The whole freaking midfield just fucking moved together and they moved back. It was fantastic. Yeah. So for me, midfield, and the other one, and the biggest one for me is, and again, a lot of people have told and spoken to about it, have definitely agreed with me. Again, everyone's in their own opinion, and everyone can have their own thoughts on the situation. But for me, the biggest one of the two things out of that game of what I would have liked to see and what I think was the biggest, interesting moment and point is how different that game would have been with Langerak in goals. It would have been very different.
Yeah.
I think Langerak in goals in that match, we don't concede as many goals as we did. We still get beat. I don't think that changes, but I think it could have been a very different game. I think after watching that, you could definitely see the fact that Matt Ryan has not played anywhere near as many games as he should have. That for me was the biggest influence. That was for me the biggest thing. Not that he did overly anything wrong. He didn't make too many mistakes or you should have been there when they scored that goal or whatever. It's just it's the sharpness. It's just how the agility and on your toes and stuff like that. And I think a Langerak in form, Australia's best keeper at the moment, on form. I think it could have been a big difference, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Big difference.
No, agreed.
As I said, I'm not saying that it would have changed the outcome of the scoreline, but I think the control of the game and the control of the back line, and it could have been a very different story. But yeah, so we'll see what happens in the next one. Tunisia, Saturday, early kickoff, so be sure to get around your mates and shit like that. If you're not going out anywhere, just get your mates over or whatever. Get on the beers or something, or your coffees or whatever.
Get on the beers.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah, friggin' for the last time.
Yeah, possibly. Saturday 9 p.m.
Yeah, so so get onto that. That'd be a good one. A must-win for us. We need to beat them. We can't deal with a draw. It's not good enough. We need a win. It is what it is. And if we're going to get a win, it's going to be against Tunisia. Not so much on their performance, because they look fucking rock solid the other night they look rock solid against bloody Denmark.
Denmark, yeah.
It wasn't a Saudi Arabia moment where every ball they got they pumped 20 foot into the stands. It was No, we're solid here. We're good. They move forward at all times. So, so that one will be on Saturday. Be sure to get somewhere to watch that and support the Aussies for that one. There's plenty of good games coming up in between all that. I think Japan are on tonight. The early one's Croatia, I believe, and
Croatia, Morocco's on 9 p.m.
That's right.
So,
I think it's Germany,
so
Japan.
Now.
Yeah.
So now.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to wrap it up. We're going to let everyone go and friggin' enjoy that.
And then you got Germany, Japan at midnight, and then you've got Spain, Costa Rica at 3 a.m. and then you've got Belgium, Canada at 6 a.m.
Cracking game, that one. That'd be a good one as well.
Actually, I'd be interested to watch Germany, Japan, and that's not because I've got Germany in the pool.
Yeah, who got Saudi Arabia?
No, they're just very different nations in the way they play football.
Yeah, it'd be a good one. So,
who has Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, who's?
Fuck, hang on.
What poor bastard got Argentina? And sitting there.
I know. Dad was happy and wasn't happy.
I think McPherson,
happy that England smashed Iran, but not happy that he got Iran in the pool.
22nd minute.
Jeffy Young got Saudi Arabia.
Jeffy Young, love and life. I think Chris McPherson got Argentina.
I think Paul Ray's sitting there today going, well, that's not what I expected. What, Argentina? No, who? Who'd you say got what?
Chris McPherson, I believe, got Argentina.
Nah, Ray got Argentina. Chris got Brazil.
Oh, that's right. Who got Argentina?
Oh, yeah, Western Sydney got Everton tonight as well.
Oh, yeah, who cares? So I didn't even know that was on, because they're shit.
I've missed the entire Sydney Super Cup.
Yeah, and again...
This hasn't been publicised.
Yeah, and... Nah, their stars are out. But yeah.
Yeah, they're all a fucking World Cup.
That's right. Anyway, we're going to friggin' wrap it up there. Friggin' be sure to watch your football. There's going to be, as I said, plenty of it for the next good couple of weeks anyway. Another good match by the Aussies again. 4-1, you take it. If we get beat by 4-1 by France, you would hope that Tunisia and Denmark
We'll be sitting there going, oh shit.
Yeah, get some sort of scoreline like that. You know what I mean? I would be hoping they probably won't get beat as bad as that. But for me, France would be looking to close them out. If we can win 2-0, being France, I'll take it. We don't need to score any more goals. We just need to stop leaking them.
Yeah.
And that would have hurt them. First scores, not scoring first. And again, if they'd scored first, that's it. It probably would have been a penalty because Australia wouldn't have got anywhere near the goals if France had scored first. So we hit them hard. We done the right thing. We hit them early, which was great. Unfortunately,
catch them early, catch them off guard.
Unfortunately, nearly $200 billion in the squad compared to our.
Fred sort of just sat there, let the first one go in, and went, "Oh, shit."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You could tell after it went in, they just went, "Oh shit."
Was it friggin' the...
Right, let's roll up the sleeves, lads, let's go.
What's their French keeper's name? Friggin' Lloris.
Hugo Lloris.
Lloris, yeah. But you'd see that one that come off, I think it was it McGree's head?
Yeah.
Or something like that, and he hit the post and shit like that, and he shit himself big time. He's like, good try, mate, admit. Oh, shit.
Yeah. That caught me a bit by surprise. Yeah, right, we'll keep an eye out for that one.
You cheeky fucker.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, big shout out to everyone who's jumped in the chat today. Muchly appreciated. We'll see how we go. I know I've seen a comment in there about the VAR and the extra time, which has fucking amazed me how they're getting 14 minutes.
Fuck, the England game was like fucking 15 minutes in the first half and 10 minutes in the second half.
Yeah, but even then, the Australian friggin' France game, there was like 7 minutes in the second half of extra time. I was like, how the hell did you get 7 minutes? There was nothing there. But anyway, we'll talk about that on the next show just to see if it's going to be a constant thing.
It is.
I think it will be. It's just
It
nuts.
is. They've already come out and stated it. They want the fans to get their money's worth.
Yeah, right. Because even Argentina, when they were getting beaten or whatever it was, like That should have been ended friggin' 5 or 6 phases ago. And they're still getting... What the fuck? Mate, if I'm Saudi Arabia's coach, mate, I'm out there. I'm walking out into the pitch and taking the fucking whistle out of his hand.
I think the funniest thing I've seen with it is at the end of the first half, the England-Iran game,
Yeah.
when they showed the board at the end of the first half for 15 minutes of extra time, the look on Bukayo Saka's face
Yeah.
when he heard it,
Yeah.
it was very much a... What? It was like that. He double-taked with that look on his face of, did I just fucking hear that right?
Yeah. That's it, yeah. He said 5.
He had this, like, real quizzical look on his face to go, the fuck?
Yeah, it was an interesting... it was an interesting one, but we'll talk more about that on next week's show. We'll talk about the result over the weekend for the Jets girls. Good luck to them, round 2, as I said.
I did plan
The boys...
every day to post the results on the Crossbar Capers Facebook page. Going, in case you missed it, here's what happened last night, sort of thing. But again, this week has been the worst week of my life.
Yeah, sometimes.
And I'm only halfway fucking through it.
Hump Day Blues. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. Thanks for everyone for jumping on. It is muchly appreciated. Go and watch your football. There's plenty of it, as we said, at the moment.
Fuck yeah, there's plenty of it around.
Sydney. Everton that are playing at the moment. You've got the World Cup on at the moment, Croatia and that. There's plenty going on. So, yeah, be sure to go and support it. Support the girls and the guys if you're heading to Tamworth. Enjoy your trip. If you're heading to the Motors Bar for the game on Saturday night, I'll see you there because that's where I'll be to watch that one. So, yeah, other than that, take it easy, guys. We'll see you guys next week. And, yeah, maybe 8:30. That's about when Ben hit us on, so we might aim for that.
Apologies.
It's fine, mate. It was my first experience of friggin' running a podcast on my own, and again,
You're fine.
Again, but it's what we said in general of when you've got no one to sort of bounce back and forth. It becomes
makes it hard.
Very difficult because you're essentially talking to yourself because you don't know what's going on. You don't know. It says there might be 4 people in the chat, but there could be 0. You're literally sitting there talking to yourself.
No, there's 4 there, but there's a delay from what they're seeing to when it leaves your mouth.
Exactly right. So, anyway, we'll leave it there. Be sure to go check out our Facebook page and all our stuff on Spotify, Anchor, etc. If you've missed anything and so forth, jump over and see Save the Humans as well. Be sure to go check those guys out on Facebook. They do our intro and so forth, although I don't think it worked just before when I was waiting to come on. But anyway, we'll sort that out. And big shout out to Gabriel Moe, optometrist at Jasmine for our major sponsor. To those guys, be sure to go see them for all your eye care needs. Other than that, guys, we'll see you guys next week. Enjoy your football, and as always, maybe not.
We hate
There it is.
Coast Scum.
Fuck me, that was delayed. Let me just try that one more time.
We hate
Have you got the
Coast Scum.
desktop audio unmuted?
Yeah. No, I think I just sort of partially pressed it, so it sort of didn't kick in straight away.
Yeah, it happens. Or sometimes when you push it on the corner,
Kick it in the
it starts
second
it and then stops it.
Yeah. So anyway, take it easy, guys. We will catch you guys next time, and yeah, enjoy your football wherever you're watching it from. See you guys. Take it easy.
Bye.
See you later.